The 1993 European Grand Prix at Donington Park stands as one of the most iconic races in Formula One history. Not because of the championship implications, nor because of a last lap pass or dramatic crash. It stands out because of what Ayrton Senna achieved that day. In conditions that would rattle even the most experienced drivers, Senna delivered a masterclass in wet weather driving. His opening lap, in particular, has become the stuff of legend, widely known as the Lap of the Gods. And for good reason. What Ayrton Senna did that day wasn't just fast, it was supernatural. That Grand Prix marked only the third round of the 1993 season. Senna had just won his home race in Brazil, but it was clear that his McLaren MP4-8 was far from the fastest car on the grid. The Williams FW15C, driven by Alain Prost and Damon Hill, was the benchmark thanks to its active suspension and powerful Renault engine. In qualifying at Donington, a dry second session allowed Prost to clinch pole, with Hill just behind. Michael Schumacher's Benetton slotted into third. Senna could do no better than fourth. The odds were stacked against him. Yet, Senna wasn't the type of driver to be discouraged by qualifying positions or superior machinery. Race day brought chaos in the form of rain, something the British weather does best. But for Senna, this was an opportunity. The moment the lights went out, he actually lost a position to Karl Wendlinger-Sauber and got boxed in by Schumacher. Most drivers would have taken a lap or two to settle in, to feel out the grip, to manage the fuel load and tire temperatures. Not Senna. By the time the first lap ended, he had passed every car ahead of him and emerged in the lead. It wasn't just that he passed them, it was how he did it. He sliced through the field with razor precision. First, Schumacher, then Wendlinger around the outside at Craner curves, one of the boldest overtaking spots on the calendar, especially in the wet. He then swept past Hill at the old hairpin and made quick work of Prost before the lap was out. Just like that, in 11 corners, he transformed from fourth to first. On a day when everyone else was trying to survive, Senna was attacking with conviction. His confidence in those treacherous conditions was beyond comprehension. F1 veterans who raced that day were in awe. Wendlinger later admitted he simply didn't expect someone to be able to take the wet line with such commitment on the opening lap, especially on cold tires and a full tank. John Alesi, running behind in a Ferrari, recalled how the visibility was virtually zero from the spray, yet Senna seemed untouched by it. He didn't back off, didn't hesitate. Everyone else was calculating risks. Senna was already executing, and this wasn't a one-lap fluke. Senna pulled out a 7-second gap over Prost in the first 3 laps alone. That's not a small delta, that's domination. As the race progressed, the weather kept changing. Rain came and went, the track dried, then dampened again. It was one of those classic British races where strategy was as important as speed. Pit stop decisions were critical. Senna stopped 4 times. Prost, in the more advanced Williams, stopped 7. That alone tells you something about Senna's racecraft. His feel for the track and tire conditions allowed him to make the right call almost every time. Where Prost and the Williams team hesitated or second-guessed, Senna committed. It's one thing to drive a fast car quickly in perfect conditions. It's another to take a slower car and outthink and outdrive the best team on the grid during a weather lottery. But there's more to this story than the leaderboard. This was a season where Senna didn't even have a full-time contract with McLaren. He was racing on a race-by-race deal, reportedly earning $1 million per Grand Prix. Honda had pulled out at the end of 1992, and McLaren was left with Ford customer engines. Ron Dennis tried and failed to secure Renault power. The MP4-8, while innovative in its own right, wasn't expected to be a race winner. That's how much McLaren needed Senna, and how much he delivered when it mattered. Matthew Jeffries, who worked on the MP4-8 chassis design, watched the race from home and recalled how special it felt. Senna's throttle control, his ability to sense grip where others found only water, was something that elevated him above the rest. That style, aggressive, intuitive, precise, allowed him to find lap time where others were struggling to stay on the track. Even the pit stop miscue, where McLaren wasn't ready with his tires, became a memorable footnote. That pit entry effectively acted as a shortcut on track, helping him set the fastest lap. A statistical quirk that added even more color to this already vibrant race. Let's not forget the support cast. Rubens Barrichello, in just his 3rd F1 race, drove a phenomenal opening lap of his own. Starting 12th or 11th due to a pit lane start, he made it all the way to 4th by the end of the first lap. Like Senna, he had the confidence to send his car into spaces most others wouldn't risk. At one point, he was even running second behind Senna and seemed on course for a dream Brazilian 1-2. But with 6 laps to go, his Jordan suffered a fuel pressure issue, ending his remarkable run. His disappointment was clear. He sat in the grass, helmet in hands, unable to process the heartbreak. Yet, even in that loss, he proved he belonged. Prost's race fell apart partly due to strategy and partly due to one of his 7 pit stops, where he stalled and lost significant time. He eventually finished third, a lap down. Damon Hill came home second, over 80 seconds behind Senna. The gap between Senna and the field that day wasn't just measured in time. It was in confidence, understanding, finesse, and mastery. So how do you do it? Senna once told a McLaren engineer after a similarly rainy race that when he can't see what's in front of him, he relies on the white lines at the edge of the track. He literally looked sideways to guide himself. That speaks volumes. He didn't need to see what was ahead. He trusted his instincts. His talent allowed him to process information and make decisions faster than his competitors. That faith in the machine, in the moment, in his ability, that's what separated him. The Donington Drive is often ranked among the greatest in F1 history. It deserves to be. But more than that, it serves as a snapshot of who Ayrton Senna really was. Not just a brilliant driver, but a fearless competitor who saw opportunity in chaos and thrived when others faltered. He didn't just win races. He transcended them. He didn't need the best car or the clearest track. He only needed one chance to make the difference. Many fans who weren't around in 1993 still watch the footage of that race with their jaws open. New generations of F1 viewers who are just discovering Senna find themselves captivated by that lap, by that race, by that aura. And perhaps that's the lasting impact of what he did at Donington. It wasn't just about the win. It was about redefining what was possible in a Formula One car. Even in an era defined by technical innovation, wind tunnels, simulators, and data-driven decision-making, nothing beats raw human brilliance behind the wheel. Donington proved that. It reminded us why we watch this sport, why we care about the stories beyond the stats, why, even in the face of impossible odds, we believe in the magic of a single lap. Ayrton Senna's Lap of the Gods wasn't just a moment of magic. It was a benchmark. It was a declaration that when the conditions are at their worst, the greatest drivers shine the brightest. And even all these years later, that lap still glows like a flare in Formula One's history. Unmatched, unforgettable, and deeply human. Hello, McLaren faithful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss any McLaren and F1 updates with relaxing ASMR elements. Your support helps this incredible community grow stronger every day, and it's a small effort that goes a long way. Even if you can't contribute in other ways, it's completely free to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications to keep the conversation going and share our passion for McLaren and F1. Your support helps keep the community thriving. Thank you for being part of McLaren Faithful.